known by its map designation as Area 51.
We're now learning Area 51,
known as Area 51.
Thank you for
Near
clearing
Area
that up.
51.
Thank you.
Known as Area 51.
Because Area 51 is very important.
They called him Jimmy, and everybody wanted to be his friend.
What's good? What's good? Welcome here, Area 51, with your host Jimmy. Another day in the jungle. Give us a like, subscribe, and also show us some love here in Golden Era by checking our website, goldeneraboxing.com, for all you boxing aficionados who really like boxing, no matter where you're on the planet, whether you're Spanish speaking, English, doesn't matter. We're here. We're here for boxing. Okay, so let's get into this video. So a few of you have sent me a few questions in some of my lives, and I've received them in Messenger as well, asking me the question: do I believe that Vasyl Lomachenko can beat Devin Haney? So, first of all, in my prediction of this fight, I've said clearly that Devin Haney will beat Vasyl Lomachenko. I think Devin Haney just has a better reach, has better boxing skills, in the sense that Vasyl Lomachenko has, of course, good boxing skills, but the style of boxing that he uses, and I will break it down for you in a second, is going to be a little bit difficult to break down Devin Haney's style of boxing. So one thing that you got to understand in this fight is that reach is important. Okay, reach is an important factor in this fight. If you know how to use your reach and your jab, you can go very far, right? I've seen many trainers, spoken to different fighters too. Underwood will always tell you that, having a good jab is very important. If you have a good jab, it can take you miles away. Any good fighter at one point or another who's being technical has had to have a good jab at one point. Now, there are other fighters in the old school days that they had really good uppercuts, but today uppercuts are not used as much. But the jab is something that every fighter has to have. Now, Devin Haney, not only does he have a good jab, but he uses his jab for defensive purposes. And every time you try to throw at him, he's pushing back, which makes it very difficult to catch him, because he's always one step behind and he's leaving a space that makes it very difficult for the fighter who's smaller than him to come on through, because once he makes that step, Devin Haney's not there anymore, so it's difficult to catch, and he gets jabbed in the face, which makes it more difficult. So a lot of people tell me, well, doesn't Vasyl Lomachenko have the skill set to get inside of Haney? And my response to that would be yes. Vasyl Lomachenko does have the skill set to box, but that might be different with different styles. So a lot of people were mocking me when I said that Teofimo Lopez was going to beat Vasyl Lomachenko. A lot of people thought that I was nuts. How can you say that? Vasyl Lomachenko is a much better fighter. That we're calling Teofimo a bum. Some people just don't like Teofimo because of his attitude. I don't give a shit about your attitude, to be honest. What I care is that you take the best fights. Okay, many fighters today, they act really nice, they're really humble and shit, and then they don't take the best fights. So I don't give a shit about that. I'm a boxing fan. I'm not here for church. Okay, I'm here, and I love my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I love him, but I'm not here for fucking church. Okay, I'm here for boxing. That's what I'm here for. So, to me, Vasyl Lomachenko has good skills. He can move, and he has a very similar technique to that of, for example, Alexander Usyk. Kind of similar of what Manny Pacquiao has, which, Manny Pacquiao could fight the Jackrabbit style. I believe Dmitry Bivol has that sort of style. They have similar styles. You can, what was the other guy? The Russian guy also. His name was Alexander Besputin, had that sort of style too. So this seems to be a very Eastern European, or, let's say, around that area, they apparently fight this sort of fights, right? So to me, I think that Vasyl Lomachenko can destroy a fighter who's coming forward. Not every fighter that comes forward he can destroy, but he can destroy fighters who are pretty much steady targets. So if you have a static defense and you don't know how to move around and you don't know how to box, if you want to exchange with Lomachenko, you're in deep shit, because Lomachenko is going to pick you apart. That's the type of boxer he is. However, if you box and you know how to move from one side to another and started to create spaces and angles, Lomachenko has a tougher fight. So that's why I believed that Teofimo would beat him. And it actually, the fight ended up being what I thought it was going to be. Teofimo used his jab. Lomachenko couldn't penetrate him. And in the end rounds, Lomachenko started a little bit too late, started to get inside Teofimo. But he was clearly suffering in the first rounds. Devin Haney is going to be more technical than Teofimo Lopez because Devin Haney doesn't allow you too much space. Now, it doesn't mean, though, that Vasyl Lomachenko won't score in Haney's face if Jojo Diaz was able to do it. And I believe Jojo Diaz was the toughest fighter Devin Haney had. I said that Jojo Diaz will be tougher than George Kambosos Jr., even though I thought that George Kambosos fighting in Australia would be difficult for Haney because of decision. You never know. But Devin Haney destroyed him 2 times. So I think Vasyl Lomachenko might catch him a few times, but that's not going to be enough. And another thing is that when Vasyl Lomachenko gets inside of Devin Haney, the one thing that many of these boxers do, they don't use the clinch. They don't know how to tie you up. And there's the offensive clinch, defensive clinch. Devin Haney will do both to Vasyl Lomachenko, and he will never allow Vasyl Lomachenko to catch a rhythm in short distance. So the only way that Vasyl Lomachenko could win this fight would be, in my opinion, he would have to use some sort of crazy ass guard. I mean, there are fighters who beat certain fighters with crazy ass guards. For example, you had Jim Fulmer, who had a X guard like that, and he would come running to Sugar Ray Robinson to score and knock him out. And he did actually beat Sugar Ray. I mean, it was surprising. He beat him 2 times. He lost one via KO. And then I believe he tied another fight. But actually that worked. But does Vasyl Lomachenko, is he a brawler? Is he that sort of fighter? He's a dirty fighter? No, he's not a dirty fighter. And if you're dirty, then that's a different sort of fight for Devin Haney. But Lomachenko is a book fighter. He's an intelligent fighter. He goes and does his thing. He moves. But he would have to use a completely different style of boxing than what he has right now in order to make that fight happen. One of the reasons why Orlando Salido beat Vasyl Lomachenko, and a lot of people put excuse, that was his first fight. Well, why did he fight him then? He shouldn't have fight him. That's not an excuse. If you fight a guy who is dangerous and you decided to waste time in your amateur career, which sounds great, but pro doesn't mean shit, then that's on you. If you take Orlando Salido because you'd be missing time and you got to take that fight right away because you're losing on your career, well, sorry, that's how boxing works. No excuses here. I mean, their fighters will lose, against nobodies earlier in their career. At least you lost against Orlando Salido, so you should be happy about that. But the point is that Orlando Salido, when he fought Vasyl Lomachenko, it was a completely different fight than when he fought Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia was using the jab, just jabbing, moving, and Mikey Garcia boxed him beautifully. Vasyl Lomachenko, on the other hand, he went inside and tried to trade, and he was moving, trying to circle Orlando Salido. That shit was not working, and Orlando Salido caught him a lot of times, and he lost the fight. So you would need that sort of style to get inside of Haney. You need a Marcos Maidana style to have a chance against Devin Haney. But if you're trying to box him with that sort of style that Lomachenko has, it's going to be very difficult. In fact, I predict this fight will be something like Mayweather fighting Manny Pacquiao. That's what I think. I think it's going to be the same fight. And the reason is because Manny Pacquiao had really good legs, better legs than Vasyl Lomachenko, in my opinion. And he could cut angles very well. He was actually very known for his angles. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. kept him off this jab the whole fight. He tied him up when he had to. And little by little, he started throwing the second hand and putting Manny Pacquiao in a very tough position, right? Because he was confused. Devin Haney is probably going to have a fight similar to that. And Vasyl Lomachenko, if he wants to fight, if he makes it more of a fight and he pushes himself to get inside, he has a better chance to beating Devin Haney. But if he's just doing what he's always done, I don't think he stands too much of a chance. Plus, Vasyl Lomachenko doesn't start right away. He doesn't start fast. He started slow with Teofimo Lopez. We saw what happened with Jermaine Ortiz, and in my opinion, Jermaine Ortiz beat him. I think, it was a close fight, 6 rounds to 6. It should have been at least a tied. It wasn't a robbery. Robberies don't really happen too much in boxing. Robbery should be like, you win 10 rounds and you lose, something like that. But that rarely happens. Close fights are not robberies, but I do believe Jermaine Ortiz did a good job with Lomachenko, and I think that Devin Haney will do a much better job against Lomachenko, and he'll learn from that fight. So, Vasyl Lomachenko, in order to beat Devin Haney, he needs to switch his style. He needs to be more aggressive, and he's gonna have to get hurt a few times. He's gonna receive that jab a few times, but as soon as he gets that jab in the face with that Haney's first hand, he needs to get away from that second hand that's coming and go inside and make a step forward before Devin Haney makes a step backwards. If he does that, and in my opinion, he just should trigger the body a little bit more of Devin Haney. But if he does trigger the body, I'm sure Devin Haney is gonna tie him up. So, Vasyl Lomachenko would need a different style to beat Devin Haney. He definitely will have a. He needs to be like a Gene Fulmer or some shit like that, some unorthodox crazy shit. Okay, but I don't think that with his style he'll beat him. But to be frank, I'm not sure how Devin Haney would do with a fighter like Lomachenko. I can look at the fight with Jojo, and I believe Jojo would give problems to Lomachenko. I think Jojo is a dangerous fighter for Lomachenko because he's short and they belong into different weight classes. Jojo and Lomachenko made the mistake of going up different weight classes, in my opinion. I think they're smaller fighters. But, Lomachenko would have to switch up his style. Anyway, I just don't see it. I think he has a chance, but it's going to be rough. It's going to be really rough. It's going to be really rough. Yeah, I just don't see it. So anyway, that's my opinion. Subscribe, give us a like, and also check our webpage, goldenaboxing.com, for more news stories. Peace out. Hagone, like the natives say, and to the next. Deuces cruces.